Hey, what's up, guys? This is Team Hard Life Capt.Eric Substitute, and I'm getting the channel going over here. Yeah, I've had. ah, you gotta love it when the haters come out of the woodwork for you. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So, I am getting the channel up and running so we can see. And give me a second over here. So, yeah. I turned off the volume over here because otherwise, what's up, man?
What's up, Daddy?
What are you doing, bro?
Man, I was about to start making dinner, but I'll hold up. Hold on a sec.
We're doing.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's only about 7 people on board right now. Well, we're gonna give it a little bit longer just so we can get a few more people to watch the channel. Yeah, because I'd like to talk about Bob Hall Pier.
Oh, yeah. I like to talk about Bob Hall Pier myself.
Oh, bro,
Especially now that it's open and you see all these people. I mean, spoiled. She fouled. Oh my God. Jesus forbid that you write your name on the pier. That's a 20-year sentence of hard labor. And Jesus Christ, it's a pier. I mean, I guess everybody forgot what it looked like, what a real pier looks like.
Yep. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, I'll have to say, man, I think I kind of fall in that boat because it's been so long. what, what,
very
what
true.
does a
And let's
real
not
beer
get it.
look like?
Let's not get into that. I mean, there was no reason why that pier should have taken 7 years to build. So
I
there's no need.
total,
I mean,
total agreement on that. Yes, sir. That it should have been up and running like 5 years ago. Like literally,
yes,
that should have been
yes.
construction should have been begun
I
immediately on
mean,
that kind of deal. Yep.
so I
Let's
mean,
talk
we could
about he was
actually
running
go
in
for
his breakfast
hours
ready.
talking about the pier.
Yeah. So I got a quick question for you. I know you have fished your pier your whole life. Can you give
Yes.
us a little more background? Because I know there's a lot of guys on here that don't know who you are. And then I'm going to give a little bit more further introduction once you kind of let them know who you are and how you know about Bob Hall Pier.
Well, my experience started when in the 60s when the pier was wooden and it had a double T and had a step up and way back. I mean,
So
it,
that was the very first Bob Hall Pier,
yes,
correct?
yes,
So a lot of people don't know this. Like that, this is actually the third Bob Hall Pier now.
yes.
Wow.
And I don't want to get into we've got a pier. I mean, don't start me with because why is it our piers always fall and the Galveston piers? I mean, they're literally on the water, and they don't fall. They don't they don't go anywhere. But ours
Yeah.
do. Don't
Yeah.
start me. But okay, let's. I mean, as you can tell, I'm very
Let's stay
passionate
focused. Let's
about
stay
this.
focused.
Yes, because only in Corpus does this happen. But anyway,
Yeah.
uh, you know, back in the day, people you had to see it. If you never saw it, you don't know.
Yep.
But uh, they were. I mean, tarpons, sharks. I mean, massive animals. I mean, big. I mean, as a 6, 8, 10, 12-year old. I mean, you would sometimes. the best part of coming to the pier was just staying outside and watching the fish come up to be. I mean, it was, back in the day, nobody said, "Oh my God, look." I mean, oh, they're killing. Oh, this. Oh, people were really happy. That's the difference between us then and we now.
Yep.
Now, with all due respect, I'm a card carrying center left liberal. And, I believe in conservation. I believe this. I believe that. I've taught more people how to fish than more people exist. Jesus. You know, through TJJD, the OTYC, this, that. I mean, it it is the 70s. I mean, we learned from people that that were fishing that pier, that were slinging baits. There was no people, with surfboards running baits out and stuff like that. I mean, they were slinging them. They would drop their lines on the pier, do the zigzag thing, and you'd cowboy them, woof 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 woof, and chunk it, and that was it. And they were
That was it.
catching those kinds of fish. And you know what? The people that were catching those trouts that looked like anacondas were in the front. The
Yeah.
people that were catching the mackerels and stuff, let me just put it in perspective. Back then, now, you've got 1,250 feet of pier. Right now, uh, you've got what is it? 2,300 feet of pier where your trout fishermen, your mackerel fishermen, your pompano fishermen, your sheephead fishermen. I mean, hey, you know, just I for one have always admired those people because you got to have a strategy, uh, you know, to catch. You know, we're out there. We're just hoping to something pass by and pick our stuff up. I mean, they're
Yeah.
diligently, it takes a lot to do what they do, and I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that you've got people that can't be happy for us. I mean, think about it, Albert. Think about it. I mean, you're what? You're 46,
45. Yeah.
45. You were 12 when I took you.
Yep.
Okay. Before that, at 12, this was what? Do you remember what year this was? The early
Not
80s.
90, 91,
90? Okay,
90.
91.
Yeah.
91.
91. Yeah.
91. That's 17 years after I first went. 17? Yeah, that's 17 years after I went. Or what? 27 years after I went the first time. Anyway, all those old people, the old schoolers, they were religiously there. The short fishermen, because let's face it, let's be truthful, that pier is known throughout because of the short fishermen. I mean, you may not like it, whoever, but I mean, you don't see the postcard in the bait stand with, a 22-inch red postcard. You just don't see it. But you do
Yeah.
see that big old tarpon, and you do see that big old shark. I mean, times
I'm,
have
I'm,
changed. Times have changed. We need to be conservationist. We need to. Look at that. Look at that.
that's
Hey,
an
tell me.
that, that's in an Italian magazine right there.
Yeah.
I made it to an Italian magazine from Bob Hall Pier, you know, and then that same picture made it to the cover of the Abbott Rail catalog. Like, no, you are nailing everything that I've been just talking on Facebook about with all these guys because right now shark fishing is under fire. It's under fire because a lot of these guys that just started fishing, within the last few years have come up. They don't like shark fishermen. Why? Because I got $250,000 worth of tackle that I can grab at any given time to go shark fishing. Because I chose that was the thing I loved to do. You know what I mean? That I invested blood, sweat, tears creating this deal because you nailed it. When these people hear these stories through their life, no matter what age they are, wherever they are in the world, I can say world because I know you have probably talked to God knows how many people that have visited that pier
Yes.
for the sharks, the tarpon,
Yes.
the kingfish, like the big fish. They never said, "Hey, I flew in from Ireland because I heard they caught redfish here." I've never heard
Yeah.
that. I've never heard them say
I.
they flew
I.
there for
I.
pompano or red, drum or speck. Like not a single one. They come here for the shark or the big fish and tarpon, jacks, cobia kings, like the monster fish. So for them to say, you know what, I don't like shark fishing here and I want it gone, y'all should go down the beach. Oh, maybe you should go down the beach. You're the one that don't like
Duh.
a lot of people. Like,
Duh. I mean, again, again, you, me, and we can name 100 other people that have not just go on a regular basis, but go 2 to 3 times a week over 50 years. And you know what? It's very difficult for me to sit here and look through people's comments after I have invested my entire life and went to work and invested my life into teaching kids how to fish, be respectful. Uh, when I catch a fish, I, brother, I carry a truck full of rods that are named after athletes. Willie Mays, Capt.Eric. You know, I've got Babe Ruth because they all caught over 700 fish.
easy,
You know,
easy.
and when I catch a fish, I'm so old that if you walk up to me, you're gonna catch it because I already know how to catch it. You don't. So for you $3, you're gonna catch a fish. And
Yep.
while you're looking at me in sheer disbelief, I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm going to teach you what to do and how to bring it in.
Yep.
You know, and
And I
all
can,
this time, and in all this time, Albert, I have given my life to that pier and invested my money and raised my children and people like yourself and have given not just to the pier but to the concession stand. I've bought. I have supported my stuff there. And for someone, without due respect, for someone that lives north of Austin or west of San Antonio or out there in East Texas or wherever you're from, and you're armchairing because you spent $20 and you see a party of 3 grown adults with a total of 12 rods, because you can take 4 rods, I think,
Yep.
And you go, oh, they're gonna hog up the pier. Wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. I've paid my dues. You come once a year, maybe twice, and you want to tell me how I can fish, where I can fish, how I can fish? I gave the dog. Who gave you the right?
Exactly. Where in all of this did you pay for all of everything I've done? Like to be able to tell me. I mean, because us as parents, I know you're a father, you're a grandfather. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather now. And when I'm paying for my kids to, put good clothes on, and I see them trashing their clothes, well, I have a right to tell them, hey, you're messing up clothes. Stop that. But because I've paid for it, like I don't want to see my money go to waste. But you're right. On a pier where you've probably put at least $500,000 in investments toward it by showing up as frequently as you have, buying the bait, buying the tackle, buying this, buying that, gas, clothes, chairs, this, like in accumulation of your lifetime, you probably spent over $1 million fishing that pier. Easy. I, easy. Because I'm already at a 250,000 and I'm way younger than you are. I'm not calling you old or anything, but
Uh,
but
yeah.
but you did nail it. You did nail it though. Everybody here heard these stories. I used to hear them from y'all for years before we finally crossed that bridge where I was able to go with you on a trip. I mean, I used to come home from Cole Park, and I was so happy with my drums and my reds and my blue crab because that's pretty much all I caught. And you're coming home with these big old bull reds and big shark and kingfish and cobia, and all I heard was stories of this far off place, and pins and big shell and little shell and all of these places, Maliki Beach, and like, God, man, I used to think it was a world away. Like when y'all disappeared, like y'all were traveling to some foreign country. And so when I finally made that trip and walking up on that pier for the first time, and I was blown away just by driving on the beach and seeing it. Even more on cloud nine, walking up on that pier and seeing how big it was. And I get three-quarters of the way down, and I've seen already like 15, 20 sharks up on deck, and reds and Spanish mackerel, and then you're thinking, get the gas, buddy!
Hey, hey, you know, uh, uh, you bring up another subject that is amazing to me. You know, pink sharks dead along the along the beach is probably one of the most. I mean, I can respect someone's opinion, but your opinion aren't fact. You can't make an opinion a fact, and that's
Listen to
not
the man.
true.
Listen to the man right there. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Opinions are not fact. Uh, I mean, as of from now till I pass away, I challenge anyone to go down the beach after they see a big party of fishermen, you know, to see if there's anything dead along the beach that was caught the day before. That's such a, I mean, again, bring the fact. Don't bring your opinion
Yeah. Yep.
because, somebody's going to call you out on it. And, you know, have the proof before you muddy the water, bring the proof, and then the people that you're accusing will turn around and go, okay, now we can see what we can do about that. But in the meantime, we're policing ourselves on that pier better than a lot of other piers, let me tell you, because, you know, we are the epitome of who people on the Gulf Coast want to be like.
Yeah.
A bog pier fisherman is the epitome of what people want to be like on the entire Gulf Coast because we are the pier.
Yep.
And
And
that's a
and
fact.
it, it goes even further back than that. Even as a kid, once you got brought into the crew of okay, he's cool. He's not out here to steal anybody's gear or hurt anybody out there. Then they were like, "Hey, man, come learn this and come learn this and come learn this." Even then, it was all about showing the knowledge, sharing the knowledge, getting people to grow. Hey, you don't know how to handle the gaff. You're going to learn today. Like we're going to teach you. Why?
Uh-huh.
Because that means that's somebody else that can help out when we are catching too many fish. And this goes back from when like he said, I was 12 years old, barely walking on that pier, and I just
And you needed to go through a process. You weren't going to catch a fish that day. Everybody did. My own children did. I
yep,
mean, it was a process. It's not like hunting. That dad gives you a 22 and you're going to start shooting rabbits. You're going to know what it is and what you got to do in order. You got to work your way to that rod and reel.
yep,
I mean,
yeah.
and believe it or not, it made you a better fisherman
Yes, it did.
because
It did.
once you learned how and where to catch the bait, you were the one that would catch fish. I
It,
mean,
it, it
I just don't get it, man. That some people can just throw it out there and make you look like, you know, you it, that you're stupid, that you have
so
no common decency. You know, brother,
so
I've
there.
given out more tackle on that pier, especially the slide lines to catch king. I've put people onto fish like you can't possibly imagine. And you sit here and you watch these comments and you're going like, Jesus Christ. And that's because I've never asked a trout fisherman to let me catch a trout.
Boom, boom. Like I was waiting for it. I was gonna see how long that would take because I would really, all these guys that are complaining about all the shark fishermen that are trout fishermen that are this and that. Now, some of the sheephead fishermen that I've been fishing with, hey, they've I've seen them pass out there. Hey, come get in here, come get like they're doing it, but because it's like this. But you ask the trout fishermen and the red fishermen, they look at you like you're crazy. But
Yeah.
you've done it. I've done it. I mean, only reason I have videos is because I had to show my gear in action, and not just me using it in the hands of somebody that has never used a rod and reel combo like this, and to see how it comes out for them. So for me, it's the ultimate door to door salesman pitch because I bring you a product, I put it in your hands in a real life environment to where you use it. You actually get to work it. You know what I mean? And that's why the door to door salesman works out there because obviously I'm not selling vacuums, so I'm not going to go to your house and ask to vacuum your living room. I need you to get on a fish. I need you to get on a big fish.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and, and just realize why we are so addicted to that pull. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they say that drugs are cheaper than fishing. I was like, well, they haven't shark fished.
Kings, Kings. I mean, let's face it, man. I mean, just standing on. I mean, overlooking the railing at the water and seeing a bait go start going round and round and round. And immediately you start, waving. Hey, 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 hey. and
Yeah.
everybody, and then bam, it's on. I mean, it's not TV, brother. It's live and in color. And it happens that trout fisherman he may not be catching anything over there, but if he goes over there and he's next to that rod that just caught that king, well, here you go, bro. You bring it in,
Yeah. Yep. We've
and
done it.
then and then you go home, and for some reason or another, there's a conversation, and so say it ought to be illegal to catch sharks.
Yep.
Man,
So
I already have to do all kinds of stuff to my tackle to even attempt to catch one. And then when you're fishing for something else, you pray that you don't catch it because uh,
so real quick, I've got a few guys just getting into the chat here. My name is Albert Sartucci. I'm Team Hard Life Captain. This is Mr. Joe Gold, Mr. Joe Trejo. His Bob Hall Pier name is Joe Gold. He introduced me to Bob Hall Pier when I was 12 years old. And like, I don't know how much of the conversation y'all have caught on to, but we grew up in the government projects. He lived literally across the breeze, not even breezeway. It's a my yard, our apartment complex, the yard, his yard, and their apartment complex. We could see each other day in day out. And I've been fishing my whole life. However, I was always fishing like Cole Park, Swanner Park, the Harbor Bridge, Doddridge, Oso Bay. Like I fished the whole Gulf or the whole Bay of Corpus Christi on my bike with my parents. But that was the only place we really knew. And I used to see Mr. Trejo and his family come home from a fishing trip, and they would just flip that cooler over and go to filleting fish. And I'm talking not these little coolers. I'm talking the big 150 quart cooler stacked with freaking fish. And and a lot of times we come up and we were being this. Oh, what kind of fish is that? Like, but we were fishermen. You know what I mean? And so finally, they invited us to the pier. And like he said, we went out there ready to jump on the rod, but no, 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 no. Hold on. You got to learn how to catch bait first. We're like, well, okay, cool. Like, what do we do? These rods put down. These are the rods now. And they give us, a little Abu Garcia or spinning reel. And we look at them like, we're like, oh, we're going to use those.
I'm way past that. I'm way past that.
Hold on, here's a little Mandalorian. Hold on, let me get my hammer. Stock, and you would put a little bend in it, and that's to increase the action
The
on it, and this
wiggle.
and that. And well, what do I do? Just do this, you know. So you learned, like you said, from the bottom, and you worked your way up to those bigger reels. And because we did that, we learned the whole dynamics of catching bait, to go
Everything.
to the next level, to go to the next level. I mean, it was like a game. You had to earn your stripes to get up there. And by doing so, it also gave you time to acclimate to the pier, to understand how it works for the shark fishermen, for the red fishermen, for the king fishermen, for the big rig shark fishermen. Like, because all of these are different steps. They're different layers of that whole dynamic of fishing Bob Hall Pier. And the reason I've going on this video today is because, like we have said, he's following along on Facebook to all these Facebook posts where everybody's trying to ban shark fishing from the pier because we're bringing up sharks. They're bringing up sharks, or whoever's bringing up sharks. Well, they're protected. They're this and well, like, yeah, we understand that, but there is not one single law written in the book that tells you you can't bring it up, dehook it, and release it. Well, you're too far, you're too up out of the water. I was like, okay, well, let me clear some facts for you. I'm 45 now. I have fished that pier since I was 12. And from day one at on the pier at 12, and this is just mine. I'm not even talking about Mr. Trejo's whole fishing life of the amount of sharks. Remember, He fished Ball Hall Pier 1. He's fished Ball Hall Pier 2. And he's about to go fish Ball Hall Pier 3. All of these piers, sharks were brought up, but a lot of times in the old days, they didn't go back. They were just killed and they were buried behind the dunes. Ball Hall Pier 2, we learned to start being more eco-friendly or more conservation minded in hand, which we understood. We were like, and you know what? These shark fishermen, a lot of these shark fishermen out here are probably the hardest working people to help make sure that they survive. Because when you land a big shark and you do it by like you're out there by yourself, you'll see a team of guys just come up. Hey, you need some help? You need some help? All day long. Like no matter how big they get in the water with you, just trying to help you get that shark back in because they know one day that shark might be on their line. And you see everybody on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram just bashing on these guys because they're bringing up a shark. Or there's blood on the deck and stuff like that, man. I'll be honest, man. There really is no place to cut a big bait right because you don't want to cut it over here and then track blood all because then you're gonna have all these blood trails. Normally you rig your bait right by your rod, and then right before you deploy it, you split it in half and then it gets deployed out. Now you got all these other guys that are new into shark fishing and stuff, and they do their bait by where they're seated at and stuff like that, so that way they don't trip over nobody or nobody creates a trip hazard. And so there's a bunch of reasons why, but again, I'll admit, a lot of them aren't taking care of the area after the bait's deployed. Like once it's deployed, throw some water down, clean it off. Don't leave it a slippery, bloody mess because then it looks bad. And it's not just the shark fishermen, the sheephead fishermen that are catching 50 to 100 in a few hours on the pier, and the slime and scales and blood because they're cutting the gills right there, to bleed them out right there. So there's a bloody mess there. But everybody is throwing all the shark fishermen under the boat right now because of it, and they're claiming, "Oh, shark fishing needs to be back." Bro, like Joe is saying, the pier is founded on monster shark fishing. It has been carried by the monster shark fishing community. And for these guys that finally, it's a new pier and new rules, new this, new that, they slow down there, killer. Like you got to remember, the pier's got to be sustainable once it does start actually charging. And going up there with one fishing rod per person is not going to fund that pier. Even if you fill it elbow to elbow with people, which you're not going to like because you don't like it right now because it's elbow
You
to
don't like
elbow.
it right now.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, the shark fishermen that are out there are not part of that elbow to elbow crew. It's the sheephead fishermen. Literally, you can go out there and the sheephead fishermen are elbow to elbow out there. The shark fishermen are all in the center, away from that, because our rods are out there in the deep. So by people sitting there and trying to throw us under the bus and trying to put blame, you really need to know what you're talking about before you can say something. One, two, actually do your history check and actually learn, because I can only speak for the amount of sharks that I've released. I can't even imagine the amount of sharks that you have released with you, your father, all your families, that because y'all were a crew that used to go out there and just decimate the
Yes,
fish.
the old red regatta.
My God.
Yeah.
So, and with all of that being said, he's nailed on it several times. I've been out there and I'm tired of pulling bull reds or small sharks and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, you got a fishing license? Well, yeah. I said, you want that fish? And they're like, it's not mine. I said, no, it's my rod, but you can go and pull it in as long as you have a fishing license. Really? Like, well, yeah. And this is way, 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 way before I started my own tackle shop. I've been doing this for. I've lost count how many times
Once you get tired, you do that. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah. Until that run that is like, no, that one's mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one is mine. Why is it? I said, because that's a plus 7 footer. Well, how do you know? I said, stand by for about an hour. Then I'll teach you what to listen for. I mean, because, yeah, the Red Regatta, like, I have been out there, and between like 15 of us, we pulled in 200 plus bull reds in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that number is not even a stretch. That is probably lowballing it because it was like this. Like it got to the point you didn't even cast a rod. You held a lure in your hand. Hey, you're hooked up. Throw right behind them and hook up and hook up, hook up. 5 or 6 of us hooked up off of one fish that got hit. And then we
Yeah.
land 4, 5, 6, 7 of them at a time. Take a picture, throw it right back in, and then oh, you're hooked up. And we would run over there, and we could
Yeah.
land. And then with the gear we use too, we don't play the fish. We horse them in like we're beast against machine against us. Like we were rocking them in as fast as we could.
We weren't
And then
walking the dog, that's for sure.
yep, yep. By the time after about an hour, you're like, all right, my back's done. Hold on, let me time out, time out. Like you wouldn't even
Yeah.
throw a rock.
And
You
and,
would
and
just sit
just
there.
just about that time where you go, oh, I'm done. It's oh, God, please stop. Stop. And there's actually a time on that on and especially on that pier where you go, please stop. Okay, yeah, yeah, you know,
I give
it,
up.
it
I give
it
up.
does happen. It does happen. You actually tell God to stop. I know what's happened to
I
me.
can't breathe. I can't breathe, bro.
Yeah,
They,
them old red
you
regatta
ain't
days.
lying. We're sitting here begging for mercy.
Yeah, them old red regatta days. Oh my God. Yeah.
I still
Oh,
remember the day we did over 1,000 shark that one day, and you didn't even have to have bait on your hook. I can remember throwing a gold hook just and ripping it across the surface, and boom, a shark would hit it. It was
way back in the 80s, way back in the early 80s, there was a phenomenon. There was all kinds of sharks everywhere. They
mhm,
were everywhere. I
yeah,
mean, and I remember I had some people come down from Houston, my and Papa Joe, and we went to the fish pass because it was actually impossible to fish the pier. We could not. It was like you said, elbow to elbow. There was no way. There was no way to get on the pier. So we actually went to the fish pass and we started to fish. And I remember, I mean, reds is one thing, but sharks is another. And we caught like, oh my God, on low balling it, we caught about over 30 5 footers to the point where, we started getting careless, a little drunk and careless. And, and, you know, I remember Papa Joe right before sunset. He caught a beautiful black tip, beautiful, little over 5 foot. I mean, we were throwing. I mean, you can't fillet 30 black tips, man. I mean, you got to throw them back. Anyway, he got a little careless, and and as he grabbed the shark, the hook came off without him, and the hook hooked him right in back of the thumb, right in here, and it
oh,
came out the other side. And I
yeah,
mean, he is bleeding up a storm, and everybody's it's the tail end of the fishing trip,
yeah.
and he's bleeding up a storm, and everybody's freaking out, and the shark fell off the rock, took off, and Pop has got that hook. I mean, oh, bro, it's nasty. Anyway, to our surprise, he turns off the Coleman, and let's go where the gas is on the cut on the hook, and then proceeds to and kept on and wrapped it up and kept on fishing, caught 5 more.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, real quick. Let me switch out my tray because I'm still here working on surf plates.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
I got a lot of work to keep going. But you can keep telling stories, boss. I didn't want to walk away
Well,
right good things,
to make a long story short, I mean, the next morning, you know, I, I, I wanted to take him to the emergency room. Nah, he did, old schooler, man, Anyway, the next morning, the boy didn't even have a cut. It didn't even look like he hooked himself, nothing. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the man. Poured straight up gasoline through that, at a boy, Pop.
Damn man.
True
That's
story. I mean, and
I've
and
heard so many stories about Papa Joe that it was an honor and a blessing to just be part of his life while he was here. That I do have to say.
uh, I mean, he did more surgeries on the pier of people being, caught with 3-way hooks, and I mean, Pop was at the ready with a crusty old timer, and believe it or not, I saw Pop do more surgeries, especially at Labani Park with a bunch of drunks. It was so, oh my God. I mean, you know, knife. Give me the knife.
Yeah.
Um, True stories, man. True stories. I mean, I hope he's in the finest places of heaven. But
Oh,
believe it or not,
I
I
don't doubt
appreciate.
he's not. I don't doubt it. Like he is. He is definitely up there watching over us right now, without a doubt. But
The
I would like to kind of address a comment here, and this is kind of what it's why we're here today.
Go
And
for
it's
it.
this is just one of the thousands and thousands of comments that we have seen on social media. And it says right here, and end of the barb fishing. He says, I've seen two main videos, the gilt sandbar and the hammer. Do you think they handled those sharks properly? Okay, so any shark that you grab by the gills is a bad thing. It hands down. However, at that time, when you're trying to get a grip of this shark, you're going to grab it as best as you can, as quickly as you can to get it up and over the handrail because while it's sitting on that handrail, is doing more damage than you trying to figure out a proper way to get it up and over the handrail. You get it up and over, get it on there, get the hook out, get a quick measurement, right back into the water. Granted, yes, he may have, but again, you or I were not in that position where he was at on that shark at that given moment. And at the end of the day, human survivability trumps any animal that is out there because at the end of the day, loss of human life or limb is not worth me sitting there saying, "Hey, man, don't touch, don't do this, don't do that," because no, I'm sorry. Like one, I don't approve of the guy jumping in the water, to go put the tail rope around that hammerhead. I would have, if my net was there, I would have lowered him down in the net, pulled him right up to it, got him in there, because then there was no way, that he got injured by another marine life out there. Because where there's one shark, there's more likely more. I mean, you can't predict what they're gonna do. You can't sit there and say it's not ever gonna happen. It's human life that's out there. Like we're in their backyard now. For bringing the hammer up, the sandbar up, we've brought hammers, duskies, silkies, fine tooths, black nose, big eyes. We've brought all kinds of shark onto that pier. And this, I'm talking from personal experience on this. And I know this because there was a given time that people were trying to find a way to discredit anything that I was telling people out there. And the main one was that throwing sharks off the pier would not kill them, or bringing hammers up on the pier would not kill them. I kept telling them this. There are times, yeah, when the shark is up there, like we sit there and we're looking at this body movements, and you could tell after you've dealt with 500 hammerheads, hey man, that one's not gonna make it. And then we make the choice at that time to retain it. We're not gonna throw back a dead shark, to not have to take it home kind of deal. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna throw back all my hammerheads unless I'm forced to keep it. Now, fast forward, they have rules and regulations on certain styles or certain species of the hammerhead family. Because you got scallop, you got your greater, you got your lesser, you got the. There's actually a new hammerhead, the wide hammer. Have you seen that one? The
Yes.
hammerhead is like twice the length of the regular hammerheads and stuff like that. And granted,
Hmm.
they're not in our water, but I mean, at the end of the day, we bring them up, we release them. And I had guys literally driving the beach every single day after they knew I was fishing, look for one of my sharks that I released that day prior, or 2 days later, or 3 days later, or four. Like they searched these beaches looking for hard evidence to discredit me. You know how many they found? One. One tiger shark. And I didn't release her from the end. I walked her to the beach, released her from the beach. It wasn't from the end of the pier. I think if I'd have brought her in at the end of the pier, it would have been a lot easier. But at that time, I didn't have my huge landing net like I normally would. So there's your oxymoron there. Like they say, all the sharks you throw off the pier are dead. No, nope, nope, nope. Sorry, that is, and I'm talking from my personal experience. Now, I'm going to ask Mr. Joe Trejo here, who has fished that pier, what, 30 something years longer than I have? Have you experienced anything where throwing back sharks in your lifetime, was it ever a problem that people were saying, hey man, like, y'all are killing all these sharks out there?
Never. I never heard that until I never heard anything until the conservation periods of the 80s. And even then it was low key because it was basically the Reds, you know. It here about starting the 90s when Dave Williams started tagging fish from A&M Corpus Christi. He got into tagging, and then you got into tagging. Everybody got started into tagging.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the you know a lot of effort has been, and okay. Before I get into all of that, let me go back. Uh, when we would bring them up, you know, uh, basically what we do is tie them from the tail. We would, I mean, the majority of the the bigger fish that were caught, some of the guys that, especially when I was younger, some of the guys that would bring up the big sharks, they some would walk them in, some, I mean, would put 8 gaps in them to pick them up, you know, and there was never a problem. I mean, that's the way fishing was 50, 60 years ago. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was just a kid, but that was the norm. Like I said, once you started getting into the 70s, uh, you had the baskets, you had people were doing different things, experimenting different things. to bring up the fish. A lot had to do also with using these swivel snaps. They would use these big industrial swivel snaps and use the ropes and turn over, run down the line, and they would put one rope on them, they put 3 or 4 ropes on them. They run down the line like using a rope through the rod, through the line, and once the loop was big enough that would hook the fish over the fins, you'd pick them up a little more and you'd run another line, and that's the way you would pick them up if you were gonna throw them back or
Yep.
either walk them. Then after a while, it got to the point where if it was too big, man, you were gonna walk him to the shore because
Mm.
again, you don't want to kill the fish. That's what it. I mean, a 10-footer you're not gonna bring up on the pier, man. It's just not gonna happen. And if you do, you're risking killing the fish. So I mean, it's you start walking them out, and that's basically. I mean, what more? If you want to be a movie star, what better reward is walking down with a big old fish than letting everybody on that pier know you're the one that's got it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yep.
that's the that's the highlight. I mean, that's your ESPN moment.
ESPN. There you go. Yes, sir.
I mean, that
Yeah.
the thing is, you just never wanted to hurt anything, and if you kept it, you ate it. It really does bother me, and it hurts me because after everything that you do, you still get criticized, and what is it? It's very simple. I mean, if you want to catch one, when I go, why don't you just stick with me for a little bit? Maybe I'll let you can bring it in. If not, buy bigger tackle, and you
Yep.
can have your ESPN moment.
Yep.
But there's no sense in dogging me when I'm the one that, is making things run and really supporting the pier itself, the bait stand. Because I mean, let's face it. If you lose lures and the mackerel are running, you're gonna go to the bait stand, you're gonna buy some.
Yep.
So I'm not the enemy here, man.
Yep. Yep. So that is kind of why I brought you on here because you have been doing it for decades longer than I have. And I learned from all the old school hands, and you hit on a few things too. Throughout the ages of fishing, things have changed. From the way it used to be. You know, they at the end of the day, back in the day, they didn't care about sharks. If you killed them and left them on the beach, they're like, "Hey, good for you." You know what I mean? High five. Now they want to hate on us just because we're pulling them in. Or I've seen in other states, they're trying to ban shark fishing entirely. Like you can't fish at all because they say that shark fishing draws them in. So I went into the comment section, and what I was doing was I went through YouTube and I started finding all these links of sharks on the beach and not a single fisherman in eyesight. And I forwarded and forwarded and forwarded and forwarded. And I did probably I probably did 100 links. So where are all the shark fishermen hiding? Like, I mean, they must have some great camouflage because if they're making these sharks appear, where are they? Like, I mean, because if they're that good, like I want some of that because then I could shark fish anywhere and not have to worry about people hassling me. You know what I mean? But they're not there. So I was defending the shark fishing community by putting out that knowledge, and it's not just that. It's like we don't go out there and create the shark. Like we don't have a mix of batter and pots and pans, and we got this oven over here that cooks them for an incubator that cooks them up, and we got to leave them there for 3 hours. And if you want a 5 footer, got to go 5 hours. You know what I mean? We're not making them. We don't create them. God created them, and we're just out there enjoying them. You know what I mean? And we get out there, and yes, we use a hook to bring them in, but we do our best to be as the least amount invasive as possible. So now we have landing nets, and or we, like you said, we make the walk to the pier to the beach. But even then, like I said, I have proven that even making that walk will not guarantee that that shark lives. Me personally, I'd rather, like I said, at my net, we brought up an 11-foot tiger on the end of the pier, brought it up, took pictures, da, 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 right back into the water. And I guarantee you, probably 30 to 50 people were searching that beach north and south for about 5 days after that because they wanted those shark jaws. Not because they wanted the shark meat. They were going to use that as evidence against us, but they wanted those shark jaws. And
Yeah.
guess what? They wasted a lot of money on gas because they never came to the beach. And I'm going to go even further than this. Joe nailed it. I used to be part of the tagging program with the Hart Research Institute. Me and my team, we tagged out 150 sharks in about a 3 month period for the Shark Research Institute. That doesn't even include all the acoustic tags that were also put into the sharks. And guess how they got in there? We landed the sharks on the pier. They rolled the shark over, cut the belly open, inserted the acoustic tag, stitched it back up, rolled the shark back over, and threw it right back into the water. And guess what? They're still pinging off to this day. So you cannot tell me there is not a single person with hard evidence more than the guys just with me and Joe right here. Probably 10,000 sharks are still alive to this day because we released them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fact. That's a fact, not an
The,
opinion.
the, the only way a shark died on us is if it was sick and we did not know. Now, my 12.3 Tiger, the one that actually I walked to the beach, that's on the cover of that catalog and that made that Italian magazine, that one actually died an hour later. Actually, 2 hours later. The reason being, I say an hour, is because I finally got to the end of the pier, loaded up on my gear because I was leaving that morning because I had to go work that night. Walked to my truck and I'm sitting in the truck just catching my breath, plug in my phone, and as soon as it turned on, the phone was ringing, and it was the game wardens because before my phone died, I had actually called the game wardens and I called the Island PD and I let them know I just released a monster shark off of Bob Hall Pier. It's this link, da 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 da, and I get a call back as soon as my phone turns on. They're like, "Hey man, this is the game warden so and so. I think your shark is north of Bob Hall Pier." I was like, "Where?" And they're like, "They say it's about a mile north." So I took off. I find the shark, and they have her in about 4 inches of water. Not in the wade gut, not even in the first gut, in the wade gut. I go running up to her. I was like, "Damn, man!" I said, "This is my shark." And this and that. "How do you know?" I said, "Because that's my tag in her." And I said the number, and the guy looked like, "Yeah, that's your shark." And I was like, "Well, what do you?" They go, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to push her back. Like I want her to live." And at that time, I started moving her, and a few of the fishermen that I had fished Bob Hall Pier with, they're like, "Hey, man, Albert, you need some help?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" So we all worked together, and we pushed her over the sandbar. And literally, it was a sandbar. There was no water. We had to push her over, and as we're pushing her over, you see the pups kicking inside the belly. And so we're like, "Oh man, that's good. Like they're still alive. We still got a chance." So we're holding her there in the first gut at that time now because the that was the first one we could get into. And we're in about 3 to 4 foot of water and holding this big, massive shark. She was 680 something pounds on the estimated formula after we did all of that because we also took a DNA sample when we inserted the numeric tag in her and took the girth measurement, fork measurement, and total measurement for the Shark Research Institute. When we were trying to release her, we held her in the water for an hour and 45 minutes trying to revive her. I touched her cuticles on her eyes because that was the only way I could tell. Like, I didn't have a heart monitor to see if her heart was still beating, and they're not like a fish where you can see their gills move to let them know they're still breathing. So when the cuticle came up and just stayed there in position, I was like, okay, she's dead. We got to get the pups out. And they're like, oh yeah. So we pull her back. I run to my truck. I grab a fillet knife and I open her up, and there's no pups in her. They're like, I thought you said there was pups. I said, yeah, there was. I said, you saw her belly moving. Like, they don't have muscle contractions like where you can see bumps moving. They don't. It doesn't happen like that. But we do remember. I was like, man, we had a lot of mullet. Well, it wasn't mullet hitting our legs. It was her pupping the pups out, and they all survived. So the guys that were helping me and some of my teammates showed up, and they're like, well, what do you want to do? I said, y'all go towards Packery Channel because the currents run north. If they did not survive or they come washing up, push them back in the water. Let's do our best to make sure the pups survive. So we did that, and not a single pup made the beach. So I know beyond reasonable doubt that all the pups from that 12'6" tiger survived. Here's the other side note on that. Game wardens were there, the Island PD was there, and some guys were like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Like, they were already trying to claim the shark because I guess they were first on scene or whatever at the time. And so the Island PD comes up and is like, hey, Albert, so what are you going to do with your shark? And they were kind of looking, because they were already you could hear them making plans. And I was like, well, I'll be honest, man, I wanted her to survive. I'm sick to my stomach because I didn't want her to die. Like, we released her. I got video of her swimming into the pier. Like, she swam clear over the second bar. I don't know how she got back to the beach, but she did. So I was like, I wonder if the Heart Research Institute will take her to find out why she died. Like, I want an answer. Like, it wasn't just, oh, I don't care. No, I wanted to know why. And that's where a lot of people don't understand this about shark fishermen. Like, we try to figure things out on a whole nother level. We have adapted our leaders, our weights, our hooks, our casting, our reels, our rods, our vehicles, our carts. Like, we have gone through so many adaptations and growth and pains and wasted money and spent money and to make shark fishing our deal. And we don't take it lightly. Like, we don't pussyfoot it at all. Like, we're gonna go deep, 10 toes in, both hands ready at the ready. You know what I mean? So after I released that, that shark came back and all of that. Uh, they go, well, what do you want to do? The heart research is closed, and I was like, well, I don't have no way to store this big old shark. And I said, well, and I don't want to bury her. I said, is it okay if I give the meat out to everybody around me? And they're like, it's your shark. You can do whatever you want. The guys were like, they looked at Butt and they go, it's his shark. He can do whatever he wants to it. And they were like, and they walked off. They wanted the jaws. And I was like, I'm sorry, that's the only thing that I will take just as a memory, not as something that I intentionally wanted from the get go. And so I was telling people, they're like, what are you going to do if she died? I say, hey, you want some shark meat? Yeah, you want some. Within about 5 to 10 minutes, that whole shark was filleted out, and about 50 families were walking away with chunks of shark meat. So not a single piece of that shark went to waste, and none of the pups died either. But she did. But it was a great opportunity to feed a lot of families and to also prove a point that just because you bring the shark to the beach doesn't guarantee it's gonna make it. You got to remember, you're controlling this shark, not letting it do its own thing. You could stress it out even more just walking it to the beach. So this is talking from actual experience, man. That's the only shark, honestly, that I had released in that size that have died on me. So it's not pleading. It's getting the knowledge out there for all those guys that are out there saying that shark fishing needs to be banned. Really, guys, y'all need to really have nothing that you can sit there and say, hey, man, this is the hard evidence against y'all. What are y'all going to do about it? Other than bloody dicks. And even then, half of that mess ain't even ours. It's the
Yeah.
sheephead fishermen and all of that. You know what I mean? But I want to touch on one thing, and this is probably something that you can chime in on some more knowledge with. When we have brought these big sharks over, we do it in a like, hey, right when we're getting ready to lead her or do whatever we're doing, we're like, hey, man, we already have our game plan. We're gonna bring her up right here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna now, boom, right back into the water.
Exactly.
Other other than when, hey, no, I'm keeping that one.
Yeah.
Have you seen any other like, other than, hey, man, we bring it up and we realize, man, she's like gut hooked. It's penetrated the heart, or some extenuating circumstance as to why we would have a prolonged period of time on the pier, other than what I've just mentioned right now.
No, absolutely not. Because again, uh, that that you learn from day one. There's a plan. The plan is not to let your fish, especially in a summer's day. The last thing you want is that. What you're thinking is that belly of that shark sitting on that hot concrete. I mean, it's you make up your mind even before you pull them out of the water. You keeping them or
Yep.
not because it's hot, it's baking, and the second you traumatize that fish immediately, you're up against time. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
and that comes with a game plan. You got to know what you're doing,
And
and uh,
that is probably the best argument on our behalf as shark fishermen to 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 justify why we do what we do, because we not only take in consideration of releasing this and this, but yeah, I mean, even with bait, like we walk our bait in hand, because as soon as we say
mhm.
it hits the concrete, it's dead.
Oh yeah,
So we have applied that from the bait all the way
all
through
the way.
anything that touches the deck. Like we know beyond any kind of doubt in our mind, if it touches the deck, it's a dead fish. Is the way we play it. So,
Yes,
like he said, the time. Hey, you get it up, and even then too, I've seen where we've thrown water on the floor
water, of
to
course.
cool down the
Cool it
concrete
down.
before we actually before we actually pull the shark up. So yeah, it is that was one thing I hadn't even talked about. Like, but again, too, these guys are not interested in facts. All they are concerned about is their feelings. Well, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like. Well, I'm sorry. At the end of the day, if you don't like a crowded pier, then don't fish the pier.
Yeah, you know. You don't like the channel? Keep channeling.
Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, guys. Like I said, I don't allow bashing on here. I don't like, and even then, that we could probably call out 100 people by name, and it's not going to happen. Now I'm reading y'all's comments. I'm going to read your comments, and I'll say it by name there, just because it's respectful. It ain't me trying to throw you under the bus. It ain't me trying to belittle you. I'd rather you ask your questions, guys, because the stupid question is the one you didn't ask.
I want you. I want you to see this question. Uh, I'm thinking I know who it is, but it's with an M. But it says Bendejo. Oh,
Where did you say that at? Let me see.
keep going. It's almost a second to the last or something.
Toward the bottom,
Yeah.
and it's a name, or is it a
No, it
comment?
says yeah, it's a comment, but it starts with Ben Day.
Um, okay, let me. Well, I got to put it on the live chat. How about that? Because I'm on freaking. I hate that top chat. it shows me different things over here on this end. Let it update right here. So, uh, it's Roxy food. Yeah. So did you beach the fish and dehook it? Let's swim away. Yeah, Ricky Mark. So that hook when we got landed that big shark, we used the hook to guide her all the way. I didn't try unhooking it or anything. As soon as we knew we weren't pulling her up, we started making the walk toward the pier or to the beach. I had a crew of guys ahead of me clearing the rail because I wasn't trying to get to somebody and be like, "Hey, excuse me." Like I was trying to make it as quickly as possible to the beach to keep water moving over her gills. I wasn't trying to have her going like this and then stop and do the cork effect. No, I was trying to keep her moving to keep that water going through her gills. So I had like 5 or 6 guys ahead of me, and they were helping and moving rods and all the way to the beach. But once we got
Hey,
to the beach, then
that question is in the beginning,
oh, it's very
and it has an
beginning.
orange M.
Let's see. Let me go all the way up. Let me see. Looks well. Team online. We're running box. We're fighting fish. We don't want. Seaweed. Daryl Smith wins. Like that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bandejo. Yeah. Shark fishing is legal. If they don't like it, they can plead their case in court to get the law
No, no,
changed.
that's not it.
Nailed it.
That's
But
not it.
no, no. But that's his comment. But his name. That's his name. That's his avatar name at Bandejo 2. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but this one says, talk about when he was running in his boxers fighting a king.
Why you got to throw me under the bus for?
Ah, that ain't right. That has to be family. That has to be family saying that. I mean, that ain't
I'll
right.
be on. I'll be honest, man. Like there was times where I mean, you got into a sleeping bag and you took off your bloody, smelly clothes because you didn't want your sleeping bag smelling like that. And it was a couple of times that my rod took off and in boxers I took off running. I'm sitting there fighting a fish in my boxers. It's like
Ah, no, I was, I mean, I pulled up a piece of concrete. I wasn't in a sleeping bag. I pulled up a piece of concrete, and I mean, and at that time I was losing weight, so my
uh,
pants were falling. So wouldn't you know it, man? I mean, a big old king hits it, and instead of running to the deep, he runs towards the pier and on the other side. I mean, he just
uh,
ran and run along the pier. So I grab it, pants are falling as I'm running to catch up with this stupid fish. My pants are down to my knees. B Joe's in back of me trying to pick up my pants.
he was behind you. He was behind you trying to pull him up. I remember that. Yeah.
Trying to pick up my pants, and I'm trying to go under and over rods and stuff, and Bejo's struggling to pick up my.
Ah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I do. Oh, hey, it's Manuel.
I
Manuel's
knew
on
it.
the channel.
I knew it.
I knew it. I knew it. Yeah. Oh my gosh! But
You
at
know,
the end of the
hey,
day, I'm gonna pass on this fishing knowledge, which I've already passed a bit of it to my son. My daughter has yet to be exposed to the shark fishing because basically it was down, or pretty much her whole life kind of deal. But now that it's up and running, I'm gonna introduce her to shark fishing. My grandson, I took him out on the pier the other day, and I took him out there to walk him on the pier because again, too, you really don't know how kids are gonna react to heights, to all these different things. It's like it may have freaked him out. Like he may not have liked it. But as soon as we got him on the pier, dude, he was and look and look and look and look like dude, all the way to the end of the pier. I picked him up, showed him, over the handrail and stuff like that, and man, he enjoyed himself. And I did that because I didn't want to take all my gear, load it up, get to the pier. No, Grandpa, I want to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable because then they're gonna hate it. I
yes,
wanted to build it up so that he wants to go back, and he didn't even want to leave the pier. He was mad. I was like, all right, we are good. We are good. So Look at Tito. What's up, boss? Talking with your dad on YouTube.
Tell him that's why I didn't answer the phone.
He said that's why he didn't answer the phone. But what's up, man? Mm, Roger that. Oh, that's another conversation, bro. But hey, I'm still live on YouTube, boss. Okay, later. he was talking with my mom, and I was like, dude, that's gonna be a long conversation. You know what I mean? So, and Ricky Marks. So, Albert, is the issue not the first shark that died from the world famous? No. Okay, so it's not that my tiger shark died from the pier. It's that any shark is being brought up onto the pier, that is a protected species in other states. But yes, we've caught duskies, we've caught silkies, we've caught fine tooths, black nose. Um, we've caught sharks that we didn't even know what the hell they were. And I had to send pictures and this and that information to the Heart Institute for them to tell us what kind of shark they were. Turns out they were protected species, this and that, and it just evolved from there. And they're like, "Well, what'd y'all do?" We're like, "Well, we released it because we had no idea what kind of shark it was. It didn't fall into our small window of what we consider good eating sharks." And I'll be honest with you, if I don't like the way that shark's gonna taste, like I'm gonna tell you right, nope, that one's getting released. Like I don't even want to deal with that shark. But it hit my bait. I cannot tell a big fish not to bite my bait, but I'm gonna do everything I can to bring it up and get it released. You know what I mean? So, yep, Dave Grove, my 4-year-old grandson loves to go saltwater fishing. Oh yeah, I don't doubt it, bro. I don't doubt it. God, man. I'm sitting
You
here
know,
and I'm thinking of so many stories of the amount of stuff that we've gone through as shark fishermen to get where we're at now with the gear that we have. And again, it boils down to these guys that they've got a few years under their belt and they are supposed to be some kind of guru for fishing. I'm sorry, boss. You really have zero amount of knowledge backed by a no fishing history on that pier. Because for one, the pier was not even around when you started shark fishing. So you have no idea what it's really about. And you're going off a lot of hearsay and what other states do. And cool, that's fine in their state, but this is Texas. We've landed sharks on the piers for decades and have released so many, because at the end of the day, if there was some kind of issue about us releasing sharks from there, think about this for a split second. Don't you think the game wardens would have already cracked down on this decades ago?
no,
Decades.
and it's not like they're
Decades.
not there. I mean, they know. The game warden knows.
Yeah.
I mean, I just before I leave, I want to bring up one more funny fact that I used to do that just to piss you off. It was funny, but I think it was the mid '90s through I don't know the early part of 2000s or the beginning of the. I had a circle hook. I had a circle hook, the thumb, and that leader caught more fish than any leader I ever had, and I had to put it in a special place because I still have it, but
You still have it.
I
I
still
thought it
have
got
it.
lost and it got
No,
lost
no,
forever.
I still have it. I
Okay,
still
we
have it.
we we gotta showcase this leader. We have it
It
has
it
earned the
it.
right on this channel to be showcased because I have so many stories about that damn leader. Well, it's the hook. It's the hook. That
With the
hook has
hook.
been on leader after leader after leader after leader because the leaders get destroyed. But that
Yes,
hook, and why do we call it the thumb?
because it was exactly that. The thumb.
You couldn't get it to penetrate your skin, but
Yes.
that thing, the sharks could
Love to
not
catch fish.
escape it. It
Yes.
big black drum, bull reds, sharks. If they even looked at that hook, it was over. It was the godfather of all hooks. It
Yes.
done.
Very, very true. I mean, the thumb, because that's what it was. It had no point, none,
None.
and it caught everything. I
You know
mean,
it's fun. You know it's funny you're bringing this up. I just had a conversation with another shark fisherman the other day because they were thinking that the hook wasn't sharp enough or pointy enough to actually penetrate the shark. And I'm like, bro, you did hear the story of the thumb, right? You know the thumb leader. And I don't know if he did or didn't, but I told him, I said, bro, we had a hook that you could not penetrate that hook into your hand. Like you could try, you could not get it to
right?
penetrate,
Mm-mm.
but it would hook every single thing that touched that bait. Like it
Yes. Hmm.
every time too, every single time, like in the jaw.
Yes. I True story. I still have it. I'll look for it. And I mean, every time I run into it, I see it, and I go like, Jesus Christ! I mean, it was everybody
It
who saw it.
defies it
It
defies
defies
all reason.
physics.
It
It
defies
reminds me
all
of that.
reason.
Yes, this is the greatest athletic achievement I've ever seen in my life. Believe it or not.
Oh,
Believe
it's
it or
fun,
not.
man. Guys, y'all have no idea. Like, I mean, there is not enough time for us on here to justify this hook to y'all. There is not. This hook is it has earned a place to like stay in your collection for forever, to be
Put it
passed
this way:
down.
this hook deserves a spot in that bait stand. And to say, hey, this is this hook deserves to be talked about like the old, and this is the old leader mouth, the old leader
Hammerhead
mouth
shark. Yep, the
hammerhead
hammerhead shark.
that
Yep.
that that ghost appears of Pier's past. You know, this shark had so many leaders that I mean, he was actually made of steel. And the legend of leader mouth. This is this is a legend from the '60s that went through. Oh, that fish must have through the '90s.
Yep. Yep.
And this hook, and believe me, we used to parade it, and everybody would. I mean, you know, and then they go, fucking hook. It's that fucking hook.
Hooked up again? Is it the thumb? Yeah, god damn that damn hook. That damn hook.
I hate that guy. I hate
That
that
okay.
guy.
Okay, look. I know I'm hated by a lot of people. A lot of people hate me. I can honestly say that hook is hated more than I am.
Yes. Oh, oh, hijo. Especially,
Oh,
especially the people from the '70s and '80s from Flower Bluff.
80s,
Oh, they
90s.
hated that. Oh,
Yep. And that leader didn't travel with all the other leaders. When we were walking
no,
out on the pier, it was on the rods. That leader
yes.
with that hook was always on the rods. Yep. Uh, oh man,
Believe it.
hey, that would be a great honor to have that hook in our cabinet, boss. It will
Yeah.
be in a cabinet for sure. But I'm gonna be honest too. I'm gonna feel kind of bad because I know that hook wants to be fishing.
You know, he would, hey, believe it or not, he has, he'll tell you, I want to go fishing. I want to go fishing.
the hook is talking to me.
The hook can talk. You know, I never said it, but the hook can talk.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I'm
Believe it or
telling you
not,
guys. Everybody's got stories about a special rod, about a special reel. Everybody's got one. To have hundreds of fishermen have one hook to talk about.
uh, oh, and it believe me, it had this hook fished over a decade.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, and I remember a couple of times
I
where we
mean,
lost it. It like got
yeah.
broke off or something, and then we'd catch it back. We're like, "Oh, dude, we're still on it. We're saved. We're gonna catch some fish."
I mean, you know, it's a treasure. I mean, you know, believe
Yeah,
it or not,
no, that
believe it or not.
if, when you find it, let me know. We will do a video just to talk about it live again, and it has earned a spot in my shop without a doubt because again, too, I know I've hooked countless amount of fish with that hook. I have. I know. Shoot, we've hooked kingfish on that damn hook on the bottom.
Yes, on the bottom.
Like on the bottom with dead bait. Yeah, kingfish. Yeah, they you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean where the coin
Yeah,
drops and when it hits the
yeah.
water it sends that? that is
Uh,
that hook. That hook is feared throughout the world.
believe it or not, man. Believe it or not, it's got a special place. I mean that. I mean it's gar fishing. It caught everything. You
Yep.
know, it it,
Yep.
it it caught everything. It caught a cold. Put it this way.
Hell
uh,
yeah.
I
Well,
know, man.
I do appreciate your time coming on the channel, boss. And again, at the end of the day, if they want shark fishing gone, they're going to have a huge battle against them. But one of the main reasons we have not talked about, a lot of hate is coming, is because the illegal use or the use of illegal bait for shark fishing. We grew up using shark for bait, Spanish mackerel for bait. We
Yep,
we did it for decades. We did it because the game
yep,
wardens really didn't care. But
yeah,
then it came to a point, this line was
yeah.
drawn, and they said no more. Well,
Hey, man,
you're
I remember. I still remember. I still remember the law of the mullet in October that it can't be a certain size because paperwork. You got to watch out. Paperwork is coming,
yep,
and if
yep,
you're noticing mullet for bait, you're noticing other stuff. That's how
yep,
much you pay attention. I mean,
yep,
if you're paying attention to the size of mullet that you can use, you're paying attention to whatever else is out there that seems like a really good bait. Because you know
yep,
what? If you're doing this, it's because somebody is looking. And if you have to do that to put on bait, it's not worth putting it on. That's not fun fishing. That's not fun fishing.
yep.
If you got to
And
turn
that,
to the right and turn to the left and look back to put on bait, that no, no, it ain't worth it.
yep.
I
So
got too much invested. You got too much invested, you know, for rinky dink stuff like that.
yeah, yeah, and
You
so
know,
a lot of the guys, their first thing, well, you use illegal bait. I said I used to. way back when. You know,
Of
20
course.
plus years ago. That was a staple. Like shit, you went out there looking for pup sharks or Spanish mackerel. Like it didn't matter. Like if it was in a keeper size, man, it got chopped up for bait within seconds. It was on the hook. But things change. People change. Knowledge change. We improve
Yep.
ourselves if you are true to yourself about being a better angler. And just because it's easier to catch fish doesn't make you a better angler by using illegal
No,
bait.
no, it doesn't.
Because at the end of the
Because
day, the way I look at it, and I have justified this through all the tournament wins that I have had through my career, and it's still not over. Like they think, oh, well, he can never fish again because he can't. The comment was because he can't pass a lie detector. Well, if you actually understood how lie detectors work, then you wouldn't have made that comment. But again, you don't know, so I'm gonna leave it there. But y'all have seen where I got screwed out of a tournament win because they said I failed a lie detector. Got some things coming for y'all, but I'm gonna leave that as a cliffhanger because how's karma best served? Cool. Some tongues are gonna get stuck to this one, bro. Like it is coming. So, with that being said, guys, me as a shark fisherman at the level of shark fishing I have taken myself to, and I say I have taken myself to because there was a lot of times somebody wouldn't kayak my bait. They don't buy my line. They don't buy my reels. They don't buy my vehicle, my gas, my this, my that. Now me and my friends, we group up and we work together and we make a catch happen. But it takes part of you giving to that organization or that group to make a great catch happen. And for
hmm
me and my teammates, we can hold ourselves with our chin up because we know we are doing it the right from start to finish.
Amen.
For those that choose to use illegal baits, bro, you're not even in the same bracket. You're over here because at the end of the day, when it comes to shark fishing tournaments, I know I can go over there and smash on them. You can't say the same because you're used to using illegal baits, and that's the only way you can catch. There's a better way, guys. There really is. You get used. You practice hard, so when it's easy, it's there. Is what do they say? Practice in the rain because when it's sunny outside, you're gonna smash on it. Do it.
hmm
Put the effort into running bait, putting bait out, whether you strike out or you don't. Because when the time comes and the fish are there and they are cooperating, your catches are gonna be that much more higher. They're gonna be that much more right here in your chest because you know you earned every second of that fight from that big old monster. And then too, you don't have to be doing this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And instead of paying this to the game wardens or taking their gear, you're actually buying more gear. You're enjoying yourself. So at the end of the day, boss, I mean that's where I stand. Like I hear you agreeing with me, but go ahead.
One last thing before I have to leave, I just want to say one thing to all who listen to me and can hear me. Don't forget that the knowledge that you have, that God Almighty has given you, use it to teach somebody else. The unfortunate. Your children have friends that for some reason uh you know they're not lucky to have somebody to take them. You take them. You teach them. And believe me, you will there's a place in heaven for you because there's nothing more honorable than being able to teach someone such a wonderful gift that fishing is. Do it to the little kids that don't have the opportunity, that don't have the chance. You've got them in baseball fields playing with your kids, your daughters. Take them and enjoy.
I'm gonna add one thing to that, boss. It may save their life.
Yeah,
I have seen it too many times, and we as a channel have seen it live here in our shop, where kids have lost a loved one that used to take them fishing. Somehow, some way, whether it's the grandpa, the uncle, the dad, the brother, the sister, whoever used to take them is no longer in their lives. So whoever is left is not filling in that gap. And I've seen it too many times where they end up going down the wrong path because they lost that avenue to where you had the opportunity to help them. Pay it forward, guys. Trust me. At
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you may save somebody's life because you taught them how to
Mm-hmm.
fish.
Yeah.
Teach a man to fish, guys. At the end of the day, teach a man to fish. Mr. Joe Trejo, Mr. Joe Gold, love you, brah. Thank you for coming on the channel with us and
Hey, my
sharing some
pleasure.
good times. And I look forward to many more, bro.
Hey, I'll always be here. Thank
Roger
you.
that, bro. Y'all have a good one. Later, guys. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.